Hey everyone, my name's VGB and today we're going to be talking about my stance on Stadia. Now, this will be the second time I filmed this video, annoyingly, because my editor played up. So I'm gonna try and reiterate everything I said without stretching the video too long. Pretty much what I said in the original recording was, yeah, I've made videos on Stadia in the past. I made 3 of them, and I believe there's like 30, 40 videos on my channel. So about 10% of my uploads have been about Google Stadia, and that's the same with xCloud, which is one of their bigger competitors. Obviously, Uh, I made a video comparing the two a few months back, and honestly, now looking back on that video, I feel like it was a bit pointless to compare the two. Like they get compared anyway because they're both cloud gaming services, but they're completely different. Where xCloud offers you a library game, Stadia functions more as a console, and I apologise to the Stadia fans for making that mistake, and I hope you accept that apology. But pretty much my stance on Stadia is simple. I love the idea, a cloud gaming service where you pretty much you can play those games on any way you want, or anything you want. You know, what's next? They're going to make it so you can play the games on your Samsung fridge? Because if so, I will drop my Xbox, I'll drop my PSP, drop my Nintendo Switch, drop every console I have, and just start playing games on Stadia as my main platform. Because yeah, I do own 2 games on Stadia. I have Destiny 2, which is a free-to-play title, and I also have a copy of a Tomb Raider game. I believe it's I believe it's Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm not entirely sure. I ain't exactly gonna bother checking because I just got like, and one of the games I do intend to get on Stadia is One Hand Clapping, which is currently it's a 2D platform game. I think it's a platformer. From what I've seen of it, it looks like a platformer. And what it is it's like $4 or £4 in my country. So I'll probably buy it. To be fair, help support that developer out. But my whole way of looking at it is, first of all, let me just say, Stadia is a great idea. Like the only problem I really have with it is how long it takes certain games to get ported over. Because obviously the service runs on Linux, which I get that's what Google servers run on, but in my opinion, they should upgrade to a different operating system. The thing because it's just easier for developers to port their games over, but that's just me. I'm pretty much the reason I'm all for this idea. First of all, the downloads on some of these new games coming out, like especially like the new Call of Duties, for instance, I can't be bothered, right, to pay $60 for a game or $60 for a game, and then wait about 10 hours for the game to install on my Xbox, and then I play it once or twice. It has to have constant updates, which take up more storage. And then next thing you know, oh yeah, the thing's eating a terabyte. The game's eating a terabyte of storage on your hard drive, which just kind of annoys me. That whole thing annoys me. And like, hopefully, right? Hopefully, there's rumors that Google Stadia is getting Call of Duty Warzone and whatnot, and the new Call of Duties and whatnot. It's not been confirmed by anyone, but if this is true, you can bet I would be buying those games if I buy Call of Duty games. Every item on Stadia, mostly because I don't really want to spend so much time waiting around to play the games. People buy games to play them, right? Nobody's buying a fucking game, right? Take Red Dead 2, right? I waited 12 hours for that thing to install my Xbox. And my Wi-Fi is decent, to be fair. It's not the best, but it's decent enough, right? It's higher than what you need to play Stadia. I think I get like 50 megabits down. I'm not sure, but that's normally what my games download at. And it took me 12 hours to get Red Dead 2 installed on my Xbox. So, with Stadia, if they can get these like big games with these like huge downloads, I reckon Google can really sort of market itself as being, hey, you know, you guys want to play games? You want to play them instantly? Click a button. Oh, this game of like 200 gigabytes. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it being 200 gigabytes. Just hit buy and you can immediately jump in and start playing games. No matter if it's a first-person shooter, a RPG, an open world game, whatever. And honestly, I'll admit, when it comes to libraries of games, Stadia for being a little over a year has quite a decent library in my opinion. It's got Borderlands 3. It's got a bunch of Ubisoft games, which I don't really like a lot of Ubisoft games and franchises, but they're there if you want to buy them. They've got Jedi Fallen Order. They've got Red Dead 2. They've got a few sports games like the NBA games, and there's a golf game, which I'm not really into. They've got a handful of racing games. They've got Elder Scrolls Online. They've got Baldur's Gate 3. They got they got some decent stuff. They got quite a few decent games on there. They got a bunch of indie games as well, like Celeste, Cake Bash, Spitlings, Guilt. And one of the things people don't seem to understand when I say that I'm fine with things like Stadia, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox all competing with each other, as well as PC, is the more platforms there are, like yes, it's more fragmented, but similar to how the streaming services go, like the actual like TV and movie ones, the more there are, the more creative voices are really shown. Because maybe there's a small indie dev that's got this idea for this first-person shooter game. It's going to revolutionize the industry, but they can't find a publisher to take it on, and then they approach they approach Google or Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo, and they're like, we will fund this game if you put it on our platform and only our platform. And I'm honestly okay with that. If they funded the game, I'm fine with them going, oh yeah, this isn't exclusive to our platform now, because it makes sense. They've had a financial investment, and if Google does this with tons of indie games and tons of these games that could be AAA masterpieces, I reckon they have a lot more of a stance in the industry. And also, what people don't seem to understand is with Stadia as well, a lot of old games actually run on Linux. I know the old Ultima games are run on Linux. I know there's a bunch of games for older consoles like the NES and whatnot that run on Linux. And I personally think that Stadia could make deals with someone like Bandai Namco, to get stuff like all the older Pac-Man games. Which I know a lot of people will probably go, oh, but Pac-Man's old, no one really cares. Yeah, true, but I mean, what Stadia needs? Stadia needs to get more of these like classic titles on there. Because people look at Stadia and they're like, okay, if you've got 100 games, most of these are old, most of these are available on other platforms. Yeah, that's true. And to be fair, to their argument, they are missing quite a few big franchises. Like there's no FIFA, Battlefield, Call of Duty. But I do think that they could really start profiting if they start making more deals, because they made I think it was like $10 million they gave to Capcom for Resident Evil 7 and 8 and a new Monster Hunter game coming to the platform. And I just thought, it just makes sense. So why not throw money at Activision, get Crash Bandicoot, get Call of Duty, maybe get Overwatch, maybe get Battlefield. Just make these deals happen, get tons of games, then just sit there and go, oh yeah. Remember like a year ago when you were saying our platform wasn't going to work for a year? And also something I think they need to do is, I think they need to buy more studios. And I ain't saying, oh yeah, they just need to go fucking buy, let's go buy EA. Because I know there'll be a lot of backlash for that. I mean, I'm talking about like smaller studios, like, Bitmap Brew, Megacat Studios, Pico Interactive, um, you know, People Can Fly. I'm trying to think of a bunch of small ones. Gearbox Software, because they're apparently independent. I just think that they could have this huge potential. And I'd personally switch to using their platform more if they could win more games, get more exclusives, and I'd just be fine with that. I think a lot of people would. So I want to say to all the Stadia fans out there, I'm sorry for my past videos have upset you. I do think your platform has quite a lot of potential, you know, and they are showing that they are making deals, they are getting games. So hopefully, in like next few years, it becomes a major platform. They have tons of exclusives, and you keep enjoying your experience on that platform. And maybe I'll come and join you. Anyway, this is PGP signing out.